Hello guys, and welcome to my very next vlog, my next discussion, my exploration, my journey of discovery into various new ways of thinking, new ideas, new concepts, exploration of mindfulness and myself. And I want to share these ideas with you, continue to do so, and hope you continue to explore these ideas, incorporate them into your lives, and see how they can benefit you. And today we're going to be discussing how you can take back your power. So what do I mean by this, taking back your power? Well, before I can discuss that, I need to talk about influences and how things in our lives influence us. And in understanding what things influence us, you can be in a better place to understand what really influences you and what you choose to allow to influence you. So let's discuss the 3 levels of influence. You have the world as a whole, which is an outside influence. You have the environment, which is also considered an outside influence. And then you have me, or yourself, an internal influence. And these are the 3 levels of influence. And these levels of influence are what determine how we see the world, are what determine how we choose to behave and react to the world. So what do each of these levels of influence include? So there's the world, and this would include things like the weather, religion or politics. Then you have our environment, a second external influence, which you consider, or rather, which would include things like friends, society, family, or the economy. And then we have the one internal level of influence, me, or you. And this would include my body, my attitude, and my choices. Now, why is it important to understand these levels of influence? Because it's important to understand what can potentially influence our decisions and our choices. And if we come down to the crux of it, if we're honest with ourselves, the only real influence that can determine, or at least should determine, the choices that you make and the thinking and the beliefs and the concepts that you choose to run around in your head are those within us, our internal influences. But unfortunately, in this day and age that we live in today, most people believe that outside influences determine the experiences that we have. Outside influences are the main precursor, the main condition that determine our experiences. At the end of the day, only our internal influences can determine the experience that we have. Only once we master ourselves can we become a master to others. Can we assist others in learning, in growing within themselves? But we have to be willing to understand that it is these internal influences that we have that determine our experiences. As long as we continue to blame everything outside of ourselves, we give away our power. And empowerment comes via personal responsibility. When you take back responsibility for the choices that you make, for the way that you think, and recognizing and in making those choices, in choosing to think the way that you do, determines how you experience a situation. When you start to recognize that you choose how you want to feel, you choose how you want to interpret a situation, you choose how you want to react in any given situation, and you recognize that your choice in that situation determines the experience that you have. Now, you could always choose to resist what is, or you could choose to understand it, let it go, and move forward. But at the end of the day, simply put, your choice determines your reality. Now, when you blame outside influences for everything that happens in your life, for the unhappiness, for the suffering within your life, well then you have no power. You give your power away. Because in essence, what you're saying is, I have no control. I can't determine how I feel about this individual or this experience, or the failing economy is the cause for my unhappiness. There's nothing I can do. Economy's failing. Weather's bad. My boyfriend dumped me, my girlfriend dumped me, whatever the case is. I have no control. I'm sad because of that. And as long as you continue to do that, as long as you continue to blame all of these outside influences, well, then you can never truly be happy. You can never truly control your happiness because you're always contracting it out to others. You're always saying, my happiness is dependent on another. My happiness is dependent on outside influences. I can't be happy unless the world makes me happy. And it's this constant scenario that I see happening a lot in society today. We always blame others for our unhappiness. We always blame others for our insecurities, for our feelings of, what's the word I'm looking for? Offendedness, if that's even the right word. I'm offended by what you've said. And in doing that, in basically saying that you've offended me, it means you have no control over that emotion. You have no control over the way you think. I can't control my offensiveness, so you have to control your ability to say what you feel. As long as we live in this world where we consistently outsourcing our power and giving it to others without receiving any benefits in return, how could we possibly control our lives? So in essence, what I'm really trying to say is that in order to take back your power, you need to take back responsibility. You need to be honest with yourself that responsibility lies with you, that your ability to determine your experience is determined by your choices. When I say, yes, the experience that happened to me may not have been enjoyable and may not have been the preferred way that I would have wanted things to go, but I recognize that how I choose to think about it, how I choose to feel about it will determine how I experience it. I take back my power. I choose what I want in life. I choose what I want to feel. I choose what I want to think. And in doing so, I don't allow society to tell me how to think. I don't allow society to tell me what to think. And I don't allow the world around me or my environment to determine what I should think. But more importantly, I choose to live authentically from the heart, to live an existence that feels right, to live an existence that comes from a higher source, that I filter through my heart and I know comes from a place of love. And as long as I do that, nothing controls how I live my existence. So I challenge you in this week to start changing your thinking, to become aware of the way that you think, to recognize when you're being negative, to recognize when you're blaming anything outside of yourself. Because this is a path to mindfulness. This is one of the concepts of mindfulness, to become aware of your thinking, to recognize how your thinking determines your experience. And this is just one of the concepts. This is just one of the factors associated with empowerment, with self-development. Become aware of who you are and how your thinking and your concepts and the beliefs that you have determine the experience that you have. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Otherwise, I could waffle on this for days. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's talk. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit inspired and just kind of coming at the moment, a little bit less planned. If you enjoy this talk and you want to see future talks, please be sure to subscribe on Facebook or send me a friend request on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. That's it. Otherwise, thanks again. I've enjoyed this and I'm enjoying doing this. I'm going to continue to do so. All the best. Namaste.